Middle Ages live on in the world of gaming. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 medieval-themed video games. For this list, we'll be examining the games that best capture the conflict, crusading, and constant tension of the medieval era.
Speak quickly then. I have no interest in your games.
This is not to be confused with the top 10 fantasy games. We are giving priority to games that downplay or have little to no fantasy elements. So, while the Elder Scrolls series does encapsulate much of what we're looking for in a medieval setting, not only is it primarily fantasy, but it's also set on another planet, and therefore it doesn't qualify. Number 10. Anno 1404. City management is rarely so complex or enthralling.
You have killed two birds with one stone.
In this installment of the ongoing Anno series, you play as the newly elected administrator of a fiefdom, coordinating its trade and overseeing its survival.
I herewith grant you this island.
As the game is set in 1404, it delves into the ongoing struggles of the era, including a crusade into the Orient and a conspiracy against the established empire.
Could you please supervise the building of a date plantation?
This kind of political intrigue, combined with the game's easy-to-manage learning curve and breadth of micromanaging options, makes for a one-of-a-kind experience.
Wonderful. The fisherman has started work. Your population will thank you for your foresight.
Number 9. Lords of the Realm 2.
I have more right to rule than most.
There will be dark days ahead.
The land is yours to conquer and to rule. Taking on the role of a budding ruler, players are tasked with controlling all of the surrounding territory, while also managing the production of crops, defense from invading armies, and the happiness of citizens.
You are becoming a problem, my friend.
The game's main draw lies in how expertly it has players transition from turn-based resource management to real-time strategy combat, nicely illustrating the stress that comes with being a medieval lord. Number 8. Crusader Kings 2. The Crusades were a complex affair, to say the least. Crusader Kings 2 is a strategy game, whose campaign lasts from 1066 to 1453, with a twist. You aren't controlling an empire, but rather a family dynasty whose legacy you must preserve. Whether that means having dozens of descendants, forming alliances, or simply accumulating all of the gold in the empire, that's up to you. Its open-ended nature gives the player a lot of agency, while random events and bickering family members keep them on their toes. Number 7. Mount and Blade Warband. Raise your blades for the coming war. You are a nameless wanderer in the land of Calradia, with no distinct goals and countless possibilities ahead. Freedom is the name of the game, and Warband does well to provide for that, permitting you to conquer castles, serve or overthrow lords, marry into royal families, and stampede across the land at your own discretion. In addition, the game supports 200-player multiplayer battles, and the sight of two grand player-controlled armies clashing is something to behold. Number 6. War of the Roses. Brutal though it is, War of the Roses is nonetheless rewarding.
The enemy has the upper hand!
This game portrays the famed conflict between the houses of York and Lancaster as 64-player multiplayer deathmatches, a novel approach that allows for absurd amounts of violence. It displays a breadth of research of the time period, given the era-accurate uniforms and weapons. Plus, it offers cathartic action to those who take time to master the precise combat system. Number 5. Chivalry Medieval Warfare. The setup here is simple. There's a civil war, and you are a participant. From there, the focus is on setting up close quarters, sword and mace battles where heads are crushed, limbs are severed, and blood is most definitely spilt. The brutal combat is part of the fun though. Seeing what a well-placed crossbow bolt or swipe with an axe will do to your foe's body is kind of awesome. Chivalry manages to avoid feeling shallow though, thanks to a balanced selection of weapons and armor that require you to earn that gratifying final blow. Number 4. Assassin's Creed. The Creed lives on even in the harshest times. Assassin's Creed is notable for being set during the Third Crusade, a time when the Holy Land was under siege by European invaders.
So it is said.
So it is.
Altair, our protagonist and member of the Assassin's Order, is tasked with eliminating 9 particularly troublesome leaders of the invading Knights Templar.
Musoon opened the gate. He let the Templars in. Then you must tell Al-Muallim.
What's most striking here is the tone, as the game is filled with disgruntled citizens and general despair, a powerful motivation to stop the Templars at all costs.
You will find them. Kill them. In doing so, you'll sow the seeds of peace.
Number 3. Medieval 2: Total War.
Good news! Our men are in control of the castle.
It's the best of both worlds, empire management and large-scale battles. Medieval 2, an update of the original game, Medieval Total War, casts you as the ruler of a kingdom struggling to compete with rival lords.
The ladders are now in place. Walls are no match for the valor and force of our arms.
Lasting 500 years, the experience stands out thanks to the opportunity to explore and conquer a large map, including the undiscovered Americas, countless features such as economics and religion to play around with, and an astounding attention to detail on every soldier when they're in combat. Number 2, Thief: The Dark Project.
Did I just see what I think I saw?
Dark and fictionalized, it's still quite the medieval-themed game. The Dark Project stars Garrett, a master thief whose decision to take on a simple contract draws him further down the rabbit hole. Garrett inhabits the city, a dingy realm of cobblestone streets and lantern-lit homesteads.
You cannot run from life as you did from us, Garrett. Life has a way of finding you.
It takes cues from Gothic and steampunk imagery, while still retaining its roots in the simplicity of the Middle Ages. And it's not every day that we get a stealth game in such a setting, or an excuse to sneak around and explore.
Would it surprise you to know that it was I who hired you to steal my own sword? Yes.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, Age of Empires 2. Brought back to life for the high-def age, this beloved title still holds up. Age of Empires 2 operates on the basic real-time strategy formula of collect resources, build up an army, and defeat your enemies.
The English pretensions in Scotland are surely at an end.
But it's the details that make the difference. There's market prices to consider when selling resources, technologies needed to be researched to make significant headway, and each of the 13 playable civilizations has distinct strengths and weaknesses. Yet, even with all this, it never really overwhelms, feeding your progress naturally and subtly. It's never dull and always gratifying.
Barracks complete. Now you can create soldiers.
Do you agree with our list?
Yes, yes.
What's your favorite medieval video game? For more grand top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.